Right. So I think I can answer that. So our dev team, how big is it? It's actually 23 people. I checked today, so this is quite actual, but you have to know we are growing quite fast. In general, this accounts for roughly 50% of the whole company. So I would say we are quite an engineering-centric company. So development is really a huge part and essentially the core of what we do at Fiskaly. How are the teams structured? So in general, the idea is that we have, at our company, we have multiple development teams that have a specific, let's say, skill set. In general, we are aiming for having a GitOps approach. So the effect of that would be that we aim for having really strong teams that are really powerful enough to really own the whole product, meaning, developing the thing, running it, documenting it, everything that is really, every support process that there is, the team should own it. And the team should really be able to decide on what is needed there. So the effect of that is we have several software development teams that are responsible for at least one product. Even though we are still a very young company, we already have product teams or development teams that manage to build multiple products. So they're responsible for that. I think that's it. And maybe.
Furthermore to that, so we are generally having our products in a regulated environment, and this is of course very challenging at times. Since we are doing software development, of course, you want to be agile and employ agile methodologies in. So how do you do that? And this is actually the challenge that we try to solve in how we structure the teams in our company. And we try to bring in some concepts, especially to create as much as possible peers among the people working on the products. This is why we try to separate a little bit the concerns. So if you go from a traditional agile product development team, then you would have a couple of roles. And for us, we separated that in engineering team members, so engineers. Then we have a technical product owner generally, which is also very proficient technically and can provide guidance and direction for the products. Then we have an Agile Coach that takes care of the processes and improvements and optimizations in there. And on top of that, we separated the people management or the people leadership, as we call it in the company. The reason for that, we wanted to avoid frictions within the team and to create a flat hierarchy and to have a peer approach. So this is why we separated these aspects at the end of the day. We are, as Patrick said, we are looking at enabling our teams to have a GitOps approach, meaning that we try to bring autonomy to them and we try to give them the possibility to actually change the processes in the way it's tailored for their work. So we try to bring as much as possible the changes in the decision making to the people that are actually doing the work. So these are the concepts that we use in structuring our teams. I think that would be how we could enclose the team structuring and team organization at the end of the day in the development process. So yes. So one of our things is that we are very open. So first of all, you can find on our website how the process looks like, the interview process, and I think soon enough, if it's not already there, we will have also sharing how the onboarding process looks like. So for us, the recruitment process starts with pretty much with the first email that we shoot to a candidate, to a developer. And what we try to do is to have a lean process. So we know that time is of essence and time is very valuable to all of us. This is why we have a 3-step process that we employ. So of course we start with the application. We don't ask for a motivation letter. This is something that we are not looking at. So a resume is sufficient and a GitHub profile. And if you can share a little bit of yourself in there, that's more than perfect. Once we have that, of course, we ask some of the development colleagues to have a look at the profiles and understand whether it would be a fit or not based on the needs that we have currently in the teams. And if it's looks like a fit, then we will have the first interview with that person, and that is the cultural fit. In there, we don't talk anything about technical aspects, even though people are bringing those things in the interview. But we are more interested in understanding their personality, their way of being, and whether they would fit with the people that we have at our company. Once this is successful, what we do is to send them a challenge. Our colleagues already prepared a lot of boilerplate code in order to just focus on the task, so that we understand whether the people can be proficient technically, they can speak our language, they can understand a little bit what we are doing. Also, they can see how it looks like from a code perspective, because we know that developers will get to know each other through code best. So we try to give as much as possible insights before someone is joining our teams. So they will get that. They will tell us generally how much time it will take them, because of course we need to ask them. Again, people are generally doing this after working hours. It's normal, and we are humans. We understand that. For us, people come first. This is why we have also this approach in there. Once the coding challenge is done, then the challenging part comes for the candidate, because they will get to meet some of our best colleagues in the field there, and they will try to understand whether that person is actually a fit, try to understand, okay, how senior that person is, and what the person can bring, what they can learn from them, and so on. So we are not looking just at someone capable of doing coding, but also someone that can integrate and can explain and can share what's going on, motivate the others, so contributing to a team atmosphere that it's enjoyable, because of course we want to bring joy into our work. We spend quite a lot of time together, why not having fun? So if that's a success, then there is the offer, and when the person is available, of course, notice period is applicable everywhere. So there is some time. Sometimes we wait for 3-4 months for someone. So there is no restriction on that. We don't have that as a differentiator whom we hire. We actually, if we identify someone to be a good fit, then we hire them. We don't have this, we need to take a look at all the candidates and then decide. But rather, if we find someone that is good. So let's go ahead and have it running. And the first thing is that my colleagues from People and Culture are jumping in, and then we start collecting information, and we start sending also from our side some information on what's going to happen, what is the process, and we tailored an onboarding process for that. That starts with the first day, pretty much greeting them. We prepared the self-onboarding package that the people can go through to get to know the company, to get to know the colleagues. We try to get them in contact with other people from other teams and departments. So again, the whole company is the product, not only one specific team, but we as a whole. Then we are looking at the first week, first month, second month, and third 3 months. This is the onboarding process. In this process, you would have 2 to 3 buddies, let's say like that. One buddy would be from the People in Culture that would show around the administrative things and go to person when you have questions of how do I take a day off or things like that. But definitely we will have a buddy that is in the team, which will show you around and get you along with them into the journey, so that people get a smooth transition in there. So we try to integrate the people as fast as possible. This is why for us it's very important that the people are for the first 2 weeks with us on premise. Our experience on that was that the people were very fast onboarded, and they felt like being at home, so to say, very fast in that manner. Besides that, we have a continuous process of discussing with the people about their growth and their career development. And we are putting in place these programs. That would be pretty much the recruitment process that starts from the first email and then ends with the person being with us for a longer term, because of course we are looking for long-term commitments here.
So I think Alex mentioned it in the first question, or highlighted it. So Fiskaly is in principle an API-first company. So other than that, we are operating in a highly regulated environment. So we are building, let's say, backend services that provide a very specific solutions in critical contexts. that is fiscalization. I don't want to go into details about fiscalization. So if you want to know more, go to our website, fiskaly.com. You can read more about that, but just know that this is, I like to see it, it's a bit special, the kind of context we're operating. So the thing is, originally, or let's say, put it differently, the technical challenges, they change over time. So initially, we are still a, let's say, young company. Initially, the challenges were to really find solutions, technical solutions for the technical requirements, because we have a lot of, let's say, constraints that lead to us that we cannot build software at will, because we have to run through product certifications. We have to stick to security guidelines because we are operating in a, let's say, security critical environment. So sometimes it's not so easy, and we cannot do what we want, let's say, because we have these constraints, and you have to find this sweet spot between, just doing what this security and compliance industry had been doing for the last 100 years to bringing in new technologies and new approaches like we do. And we try to find a balance here between those two worlds, because I like to see that they're really clashing here. And this is maybe a challenge that we have to have here. But I can tell you, right now, or let's say that the last weeks and months, it has been visible that the technical challenges that we are facing are, I would say, a direct result of our success, because we have been growing really, really fast, which is a luxury problem, I have to say. Yes, we have a lot of customers that use our products. So really one of the, and as I said, these products is really a core infrastructure for cash registers. So any kind of anomaly, the system is not available. Even for a split second, hundreds of customers will see that. So it's first technical challenge. After having built the system, keeping it alive and monitoring it, and really getting to understand the own system that you build yourself. Because writing code is easy, but when you build the software, you don't see all those edge cases, all those things that when you write the software, you say, okay, this is never going to happen. I can tell you, everything that can somehow happen will happen eventually, and we had that. So especially if you're having a system and operating at that scale that we have now reached, which is somehow, I'm really scared of that myself, because I don't know a lot of companies that have, for instance, I don't know, hundreds of thousands Docker containers running. It's already a challenge to keep them running and keeping them alive. So this is definitely one, and it really changes the way you build software, because you have to be very, very careful with what you're doing. And besides that, you have to know, as I mentioned, you have this product certification process that we have to go through for some parts of our system. So another challenge is every change that you do here undergoes certification. This takes months until you can roll out this software. And you have to know, once this software is live, you have to live with that for another month. So you're very careful with what you're doing, and you have the urge to really, or actually the need to really, really understand the whole stack you're using. Speaking of stack, the technologies that we're using is, as I said, we are mainly backend centric. So naturally we are using TypeScript, JavaScript for full stack, in a full stack approach for some parts of our software that have, for instance, user interfaces. But lately, for the other parts that are really performance critical, we are transitioning into more of a Golang stack here, because we saw this is a very good fit here for us. So if we go one abstraction layer beneath, something that we definitely have to do at that scale is really have to containerize every piece of software that we have. Otherwise, there's no chance to roll that out and manage that. So naturally, Docker is really a core tool that we're using, not only in development, but also in production. Kubernetes, there's no way around that. So naturally, this is also one thing that we really rely on that. Yeah, and one abstraction layer below that is, of course, Linux is really something that we cannot live without it. So I think in the development department, I think everyone uses Linux on their desktop. So I think I can say we are really an open source company, I guess. So no, this is really a luxury to have. And so we can really own the whole stack that we're using, not just on our development machines, but also on the production machines that we use. And it's really, really great to build really a whole system on open source components. So one core piece that we use really in every kind of product that we have is Postgres. That, I don't know, a few years ago, this was considered boring technology, but I think we have always been drawn to that kind of thing. And to be honest, I'm really, really happy that we made this decision. And it's really a part that astonishes me. So Nginx, of course. Yeah, so I think we can say it's really, really cool to see that we are still able to run all the processes, all the containers, every piece of our system that we have. It's potentially possible to run that on your laptop. This is really great to have. And now I know that this is a luxury, because I've seen other companies that have gone a different route, integrating really, let's say, custom vendor-specific APIs and services provided by cloud infrastructure providers. Of course, they always try to lure you in using the service because they make lives easier. But I would say this is only at the first sight. Yeah, maybe you're faster in building the system, but good luck in debugging that thing if the problem is hidden in a component that you don't own. So I think this is really the right decision that we made here, and I think we will continue to do so. I think that describes the stack. Yeah, I guess.